Alright guys, so I'm about to play a video of one of the most heated debates that I've heard on the Israel-Gaza conflict since it began. Rabbi Shmuli goes up against Cenk from the Young Turks, and it's fair to say that it goes absolutely bananas. It starts with Rabbi Shmuli, who is asked whether he believes Israel, the IDF, is blocking aid from reaching the citizens in Gaza. Let's watch it together, and then I'll give you my 2 cents at the end.
So let me address the question. Israel is not only not using starvation as a tactic of war, Israel is the first country in history to actually provide food, water, and all the necessities to its enemy. Remember that the Palestinian people who are innocent, but they still elected Hamas as their representative. Since then, they've been suppressed by Hamas. Israel has delivered 2 million tons of food. That is the equivalent of what the Allies delivered in the Berlin airlift under President Truman between 1947 and 1951, when Stalin cut off all land routes into West Berlin. It is being hijacked by Hamas. There are videos of Hamas shooting the people who gathered at the distribution points. Hamas is taking 80% of the food for their fighters. 2 million tons of food. Where the hell did it go? Then you have the other issue, that the United Nations is refusing to allow the IDF to escort them and protect them militarily. The UN hates Israel. We know that so many of the employees of the UN were actually on the Hamas payroll. They were actually terrorists who participated in the October 7th massacres. And they're insisting that only the blue police of Hamas, which are the terrorists, escort them in. So you have all this food rotting. There was a Wall Street Journal, a firsthand report of a reporter who said there's crushed carrots, there's crushed peas, all these baby formulas that are sitting and baking in the sun, as the UN says to the IDF, you cannot distribute it. Now, why is that? Because the more of our innocent Palestinian brothers die in Gaza, the more people like Cenk can falsely accuse me. How disgusting is that? Of being a Nazi. I'm in Budapest right now, where 600,000 Jews were killed by the Nazis. And you know what, Cenk? You owe me a frickin' apology. And if you were human in the slightest, you would finally deliver it. Because the name of your show is Young Turks, who perpetrated the Armenian genocide. It's like calling my show the Gestapo or the SS. That's disgusting, and you should be ashamed. And one more thing. The New York Times now admits that they lied on their front page. They put a picture of an emaciated, starving Palestinian child 1 week ago on Wednesday on their front page. Later, they were forced to admit the child had muscular dystrophy. He was born with a muscle disorder. That's why he's emaciated. There was a picture of his brother right next to him, which the UN cropped out. He is completely normal. There's a picture of his mother holding her. She is completely normal. There is no starvation in Gaza except for the starvation of Hamas stealing the food. Finally, we know there is starvation in Gaza of Jews who are truly emaciated and were forced by Hamas to dig their own graves in Gaza. Cenk has his show named after a group that killed 3 million people in the true genocide. Cenk, you're an embarrassment. Change the damn name of your show. Thank you very much.
Allow Cenk to respond now.
Yeah. All right. So these days, Israel is split into two. So there's some folks who are truly horrified to find out that this was not about self-defense, that this was about the occupation of Gaza, to murder as many Palestinians as possible, move them out, ethnically cleanse them, starve them, and take Gaza. So the people who discovered that, including, by the way, hundreds of military officials in the IDF, and the former head of Shin Bet and 2 former Israeli prime ministers are all speaking out and saying, oh my God, we didn't know that Netanyahu and these monsters running the Israeli government were going to do this. And now the Israeli government has admitted they are going for a, quote, full conquest of Gaza. So we were right all along. It was never about self-defense. It was always about slaughtering the Palestinians and taking their land, which unfortunately is the history of Israel. So, of course, everything that Rabbi Shmuli said is a lie, because if an Israeli supporter of this current Israeli government is talking, they're lying. So he says, oh, my God, there's no problem of food in Gaza. Well, 196 people have starved. 193, and 96 of them are children. So we're supposed to ignore our eyes and ears. We're supposed to ignore those pictures. And so this is what they always do with the one case, right? In the beginning of the war, there was a a bomb that landed on a hospital, and Israel was like, I can't believe it. How could anybody say that we would ever hit a hospital? It is it's a mistaken reporting, and it's all anti-Semitic and blah, 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 and blood label, and we're the victims. And then they destroyed almost every hospital in Gaza. So they say, oh, there's one kid who already had a pre-existing condition, so it was okay to starve him to death. Well, how about the other 95 kids? How about the other 192 people that starved to death? So they keep telling us lies, thinking that we're going to believe it when we could all see it. I mean, it's actually a super stupid strategy. It makes the rest of the world hate them even more. 61,000 dead now at a bare minimum in Palestine. Over 30,000 women and children, now approaching 40,000, a stadium full of murdered innocent civilians. Israel has now killed 50 times this number of civilians as Hamas. That makes them 50 times the terrorists. If you think they didn't intend it, American doctors come back and say, there's 5-year-olds, there's children. I mean, not one or two. A lot of them with sniper shots to the head, to the chest. They definitely intended. Now, what's amazing and interesting, and that's why, look, I don't want hatred to spread because that doesn't solve anything, okay? I want there to be peace, but Israel's government is saying, no, we don't want peace. So their absurd offer in the ceasefire talks was, give us back all the hostages. We'll give you a couple of weeks break. Then we'll go back to starving and bombing you. And we're going to conquer Gaza. Well, that's not a peace offer. That's a slap in the face. Okay, hold on. You spoke for about half an hour. Let me finish.
No. You're into monologues.
What?
You're never into response.
All right. That's all the Israelis have. Interruptions.
You spoke.
Okay.
Now. You're
just lying, as always. They said it's a conquest.
Stop.
So, Rabbi Shmuli, you know that they said it's a conquest, right?
I do not hold an Israeli passport. I'm an American. Now, let me go back. Now, notice that Cenk did not.
I said Israeli supporters.
Note you said Israeli. We can go back and tape. You lie all the time, but it's on frickin' tape and it'll air tonight. Now, listen to me. Number one.
I don't really care. You support the Nazis of the current Israeli regime. So what do I care which particular Nazi you support?
I want everyone to notice. Number one, Cenk did not respond to the fact that his show is named after the Young Turks, who every historian on earth agrees
He's trying to distract you because he's supporting a genocide.
3 million people.
He supports starving children to death.
After a true genocide, and he won't even change the name, which is an abomination.
Rabbi Shmuli, you know your beloved Israel is murdering children right now. Does it not cost you any conscience? Don't you feel guilty at all?
I am going to respond with fact because Cenk is an utter ignoramus. I'm going to respond. He says that Israel decided to attack Gaza because it wanted land. Cenk, there was something called October 7th. Israel withdrew from Gaza 20 years ago.
They're taking the land, aren't they, Rabbi?
Don't interrupt
They're taking the land, just like I said they would.
It is the 20th anniversary of Israel's withdrawal. Today, exactly. Today. I'll tell you something else. And Israel withdrew. By the way, in your ignorance, you don't even know that Netanyahu at the time was savaged by his political base for voting for the withdrawal from Gaza. The Israeli army sent its soldiers in to destroy Jewish houses, to remove Jewish. You are just such an ignoramus. It's embarrassing. Go back and look at the videotapes on CNN.
Rabbi, nobody believes you. You can yell and scream all you want. We have eyes and ears.
The point is, you are ignorant of history in a way that it's shocking that anyone puts you on the air. Israel withdrew from Gaza in 2005. Exactly today this is the 20th anniversary today, August 6th. I'll tell you something else, which this is the anniversary of. Today is and Netanyahu voted for that withdrawal. Israel did not want any of the land in Gaza. They voluntarily withdrew. They were then savage.
Israel didn't want any land. They just happened to steal all of it.
They were then savagely attacked with women having their breasts cut off and terrorists playing baseball with them.
Israel has done 50 times worse.
You want dead Jews. That's what you pray for day and night.
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
Die.
That's total lie.
Jews like I have
it's
never
liar
seen
by a genocide supporting freak.
You are an anti-Semite to your core.
No one cares what you say. No one cares about your insults. You're going to call me an anti-Semite. Ooh. No one cares, you genocidal freak.
You're an ignorant. Now, stop. I'm a freak. Listen to your disgusting put-downs.
You're supporting the murder and starvation of children, and you don't think you're a freak?
Now, let me tell you. Now, listen to what Cenk is saying. Cenk is saying that Israel killed 60 times the people of those who were attacked on October 7th. So for him, by the way, that's a lie, because even if we accept the Hamas ministry numbers of 60,000, they don't distinguish between combatants and civilians. Israel, even according to Hamas, Israel has a 1-to-1 civilian to combatant ratio. That compares to the British in the Second World War of 1 to 5. The British killed 5 civilians for every one. The Americans
none of this is true.
The Americans killed 4 Japanese for every civilians for every 1 fighter. And guess what, Cenk? Today is August 6th, 2025. It's the exact 80th anniversary of Harry Truman dropping an atomic bomb on a place called Hiroshima. That killed 150,000 in one instant. You know how many died in Pearl Harbor? 2,300. So you must say that Truman, based on him having killed 50 times the number, was a Nazi as well. So just say it. Harry Truman was a Nazi. If you at least say that now, that Truman, FDR, and Churchill were Nazis, I will at least say, honestly, that you're at least true to your word, you're consistent. Say it. Truman, Churchill, FDR were Nazis.
Can I ever talk?
You won't say it.
Can I ever talk?
You won't say it.
Okay, so let's know for the record that
allow Cenk to respond.
80% of the time.
80
Yeah.
years
Allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi.
150,000 people today. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Was he a Nazi?
Okay. By the way, this is a classic debating trick of Israeli supporters. Filibuster, talk over the other guests, try to drive them crazy,
No,
say
that's
nothing
what you
but
do.
lies.
That's what you
So,
do. That's what
okay,
you do.
see, here he
and
is
you call
doing
me
it
a
again.
freak and a Nazi, etc.
You see that?
Ad hominem.
I told you.
You have no vocabulary.
He's proving me
You
right
only know
as we
Mullah
speak.
Salaam.
Rabbi, allow Cenk to
You're a
finish.
Nazi, and I'm not going to take.
Allow Cenk to finish, Rabbi.
I'm not going to call Jews Nazis anymore. You anti-Semite. Yes.
Allow Cenk to respond. Allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi.
Rabbi, I laugh in your face at your stupid insults. Nobody cares anymore when you use that stupid trick of calling people anti-Semites because they're anti-genocide, because they're anti the murder of Palestinian children. Okay, so here's the reality. Right now, Israel has murdered 1,400 people trying to seek food. Totally defenseless, innocent Palestinians trying to prevent the starvation of their children. And Israel has slaughtered 1,400 of them. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Aguilar, an American Special Forces operative who went there, confirms he couldn't believe it. They're just murdering children right in front of everyone that did absolutely nothing wrong. And their main defenses are, well, it might be a genocide, but it's not a Holocaust. We could have killed them all. We're so nice. We didn't murder all the Palestinians. We haven't murdered all their children yet. We're so nice. And look, we didn't drop a nuclear bomb like Truman did. So we're and that incinerated babies and grandmothers, etc. We could, but we haven't. Actually, that's not entirely true. The number of bombs that they've dropped in Gaza is the equivalent of 6 nuclear bombs. And the idea that they're not intending to murder, here we go again.
He's this guy,
here we go again.
Makes things up.
So there's no point in debating Israeli supporters because they're genocidal maniacs who never stop talking and who never stop lying.
Okay, gentlemen, I want to move on to the next question.
Wait, one second. What is the megatonnage of a singular nuclear bomb? Do you even know? You don't know. What is the megatonnage?
You know who explained that, Rabbi? I can answer it.
Fat boy, little boy dropped on Hiroshima. What was the megatonnage? Go ahead. You don't know, do you? You're such an ignoramus. You just make things up.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I know the megatonnage.
You asked me a question and you won't let me answer it.
So
all he does is talk. Yap, lie. Israel loves genocide and he loves the murder of innocent Palestinian children. That's why he's yapping away like a monster.
I want to move on to the next question, gentlemen. Gentlemen, please, I have to move on to the next question. I'm going to direct this at Cenk.
He said that
hang on, Rabbi, please.
Israel killed 14 places. I need to know. Name one place.
This is why I don't talk. This is why I don't do interviews with Rabbi Shmuli. He never shuts up.
Name one place in Gaza that Israel killed the 280 people. Name just one location. Go ahead. Name the city.
So
name the place in Gaza.
the top Holocaust.
Was it Jabalia? Was it Gaza City?
Can I say?
Allow Cenk to finish, Rabbi.
Say the name. Go ahead. Say the name.
Okay. The top Holocaust historian in America, who's an American Israeli citizen, dual citizen, who was a former IDF soldier. This guy's never going to live. There's no point in this.
What is the name?
Rabbi, please. Rabbi, please.
Okay.
He
the
doesn't
top
know.
Holocaust
Thank you.
historian.
That's all. That was my point. He doesn't know.
Will you shut
He
up?
cannot
Okay, this
name
is
a
pointless.
single place. He cannot name
Look,
a single
guys,
place. He
I
just
want to move on to the
lies.
next question.
That's
I
my
want to move
point.
on to the next question, please.
Ignoramus. Nothing is based on fact.
Rabbi, please, I want to move on to the next question, and I want to direct it at Cenk.
He doesn't know the cities. You are an ignoramus. You don't know history.
Rabbi, please, I want to move on to the next question. I'm moving on now.
You call me a freak. You're a
Rabbi, I'm moving on to the next question.
Just cut his mic. He's pointless. In fact, you should get him off.
Okay, Cenk. Okay, Cenk. I'm going to direct this at you.
You can call me a
Baboon,
Nazi, but they
like
shouldn't
just
call
yell and
whoever
scream.
calls
I love
Jews a
killing
Nazi.
Palestinian children.
Listen.
Wow. I've cut it there, but the whole thing is a lot longer, and I urge you to go and watch the full thing on Al-Arabiya's YouTube channel. And I've thrown a link to that in the description. Now let's just get to the facts. All of the available evidence from credible global news outlets, such as The Guardian, such as the Wall Street Journal, such as the New York Times, has told us that Israel is perpetrating a famine on the people of Gaza. So Rabbi Shmuli is just straight up wrong from the outset. And what makes it even worse is that we know Israel doesn't even let journalists into the Gaza Strip. So all of their claims have to be verified by the IDF or the numerous spokespeople and shills they send out in the Western media. And Rabbi Shmuli is an example of the type of people they put forward. Lying, disseminating, aggressive, throwing the word anti-Semitic about like it's confetti. So they're not really doing a good job of convincing the world of their argument in the face of the evidence. And as I said, no independent media is allowed in. They are currently governed by a man who is on corruption charges, who is being propped up by extremely far-right politicians such as Smotrich and Ben-Gvir. They have a rap sheet of incidences and killing people, and you name it, they've done it. It's as long as the Bible. And we've all managed to see it in real time, live streamed around the world. And as I said, everybody they send out on the media is completely and wholly unlikable and unconvincing. So everyone says that Israel are masters of PR and propaganda. But when you look at it from the perspective I just laid out, they're actually really, really terrible at PR and propaganda. It's just that they have the might of the USA behind them, which itself is currently being run by a sympathetic fascist.